Okay, I'm back here with part 2 of my Night of Champions review, and now we get to the main event of the night, which was Randy Orton versus Edge versus Chris Jericho versus Wade Barrett versus John Cena and Sheamus, 6-pack challenge elimination match for the WWE Championship. And I have to say, this was actually a good match. It was actually very good. I was really surprised, just like a lot of people were, that Chris Jericho was eliminated in the first few minutes of the match. But my thought on it is, you know, Chris Jericho is going to be, if he's done with WWE for right now, he's probably wanted to get an early start on doing some other things, so that's probably why he lost. I don't know. So right now, Chris Jericho gone from WWE possibly. When will we see him again? Who knows? Maybe we'll see him at the Rumble. I don't know. Excuse me. But like I said, it was a good match back and forth, and I love how after Chris Jericho got eliminated, the 4 other competitors surrounded the other Wade Barrett and basically beat down on him temporarily. And it was just a great match back and forth. There was a great alliance shown between Edge and Sheamus, which I'll definitely talk about in detail in a little bit. Or try to anyway, but definitely a great match, back and forth. 15 minutes after Chris Jericho gets eliminated, Edge gets eliminated by John Cena. And you know what was funny is the 2 Canadians, the 2 guys that sort of have like an alliance, had an alliance with each other, get eliminated by the 2 top faces on Raw. Jericho by Orton, Edge by Cena. But anyway, again, it was just back and forth. Great action in and out of the ring. Then we come down, like I said, then we're down to Wade Barrett, John Cena, Randy Orton, and Sheamus. And of course, when it looks like Wade Barrett was down for the count, here comes Nexus down to the ring to distract John Cena long enough for Wade Barrett to hit Wasteland and pin and eliminate John Cena. And I do have to agree with the adult demographic on this. I have to agree with ICO. It's a damn fireman's carry. What are you gonna... I mean, all you did was modify it to where he throws him over his head, not, you know, down like that. I mean, come on. So anyway, Wade Barrett does eliminate John Cena, and then Nexus is beaten down on both Sheamus and well, mostly on Randy Orton, I think a little bit on Sheamus. And then they toss Randy back in. It looks like Wade Barrett may be on the verge of doing the same thing to Randy. But John Cena comes in, or basically, John Cena, after being eliminated, grabs a chair and hits Michael Tarver and David Otunga in the back with the chairs, which allows enough of the distraction to get Justin Gabriel to get in the ring, get RKO'd, allows Heath Slater to get in the ring, get RKO'd. And then also causes enough distraction to where Randy Orton is able to counter Wade Barrett's Wasteland into a backbreaker and then eventually into the RKO. Randy Orton eliminates Wade Barrett. Now I know a lot of people might say, a lot of critics and reporters and marks might say that this whole Nexus thing now is probably going to go down the toilet because, you know, you had an opportunity, because a lot of people, even those at the Bleacher Report, even those at Wrestling News World, PWI Torch, and even, I bet some people at the PWR show, and those at No DQ Wrestling, I bet all of them would say that you had an opportunity to really strengthen up Nexus by allowing Wade Barrett to be the champion. That did not happen. Wade Barrett is not champion. He was eliminated. Thus, this does look like we're going to see the end now of the Nexus storyline. And again, I think a lot of people have pointed out the fact that the reason the whole Nexus thing was brought up to begin with was just to establish the guys as individual stars, so that if they stay on Raw or they go between both Raw and SmackDown, that hey, you know, that's fine. That's fine. That's cool. But anyway, yeah, Wade Barrett is eliminated, and then that leaves the door open for Sheamus, who comes in, hits Randy Orton with a big boot. It looks like he's going to win, but Randy kicks out Sheamus then tries to go for the high cross, his version of the Razor's Edge. Randy counters that right into an absolutely perfect, and I hate to say this, I have to agree with Michael Cole on this, perfect RKO. Randy Orton pins Sheamus and is the new WWE Champion for the 7th time. Actually, it's the 6th time, seeing as though his first world title was the World Heavyweight Championship. But yes, Randy Orton is the new WWE Champion at Night of Champions. Now you might be asking yourself, where does this leave Wade Barrett for Nexus? Well, a lot of people are predicting Wade Barrett's going to take on John Cena in a Hell in a Cell match in 2 weeks. We'll find out tomorrow night. Where does this leave Nexus? Well, apparently, like I said, and I know a lot of people may agree or disagree with this, Nexus was just put together to establish these young guys so that WWE can have a big roster or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was just to establish them, so now we'll see what happens next. But anyway, you know, again, where Wade Barrett goes from here, Wade Barrett, again, like I said, we're going to have a Hell in a Cell match between those two, between Barrett and Cena in 2 weeks. We know that. But as far as Nexus goes, I think either Hell in a Cell, bragging rights, or Survivor Series is that, you know, around those next 3 pay-per-views, we're going to see the end of Nexus and be done with it. That's what I see. So yeah, Nexus is going to be done with after one of the next 3 pay-per-views. So yeah, that's what I see. And as far as Sheamus goes, Sheamus, yeah, he's going to get a rematch at Hell in a Cell, against Randy Orton. But I do see Sheamus, because we saw this during the match, I do see Sheamus forming an alliance with Edge to try to find out who the GM is, to finally find out who is behind this. And I won't be surprised if Sheamus does point out that the GM could be Triple H. Because think about it this way, why would the GM put Sheamus in a 6-pack challenge instead of a one-on-one match? Why would he make it elimination? You know, why would, as Sheamus has pointed out throughout the weeks, be against him? Why would he always put the champion at a disadvantage? Think about it. That would probably be Sheamus' first answer. But again, as I said in another video when I talked about the GM deal, I believe the top candidates are Triple H and Michael Cole. So I believe it could be Cole. I could be wrong. I don't know. As far as Undertaker and Kane goes, yeah, Kane got that big win finally, but it's not over. We're going to get a Hell in a Cell match between these two, and I'm not going to be surprised if we get the urn back into play. Paul Barrett, rumor had been going around even before Kane was eventually revealed as the attacker, that Paul Barrett is going to come back, play a role, might bring back the urn, which will allow the Undertaker to become super strong and defeat Kane. So yeah, Kane and the Undertaker are going to definitely have a Hell in a Cell match at Hell in a Cell, and I believe Undertaker will win that one. Now, as far as The Miz and Daniel Bryan go, I mean, I know some people are kind of some people are wondering what happens with The Miz now. What happens with The Miz now? I know a lot of people are wondering that. Well, here's what I see happening with The Miz. Now, you could correct me if I'm wrong. You could have your own voice, your own opinions. But I think what's going to happen is they're going to keep the... Now, if they decide to put the U.S. title back on The Miz, that's fine. I guess they want to they want to push the guy to the moon. Go ahead, fine. Give him the U.S. title back. Big deal. Right? Give him the U.S. title back. If you want to continue pushing him. Or, what you could do is you could keep the title on Daniel Bryan, let him beat The Miz in a rematch, probably in 2 weeks, then let him go on, from what I can tell, and feud with someone like Alex Riley over this title, which I think would be great matches, and just focus on the Money in the Bank briefcase. Because this is how I look at it with WWE. Now, Miz has an opportunity in the next 2 weeks to cash in. Tomorrow night, during the double taping, he has an opportunity. And at Hell in a Cell. Because think about it. let's say Hell in a Cell rematch between Randy Orton and Sheamus. Randy wins Hell in a Cell. Sheamus attacks him. Perfect opportunity for The Miz to come in, cash in. Let's say Sheamus wins Hell in a Cell. Randy, for apparent reason, pissed off or something, hits Sheamus with the RKO. Perfect opportunity for Miz come in, cash in, become champion. But, and then of course you got all the weeks after that, going up to bragging rights. You got all the weeks leading up to Survivor Series and to TLC. But the way the WWE is building up The Miz, the way they're pushing him, this is just my opinion. This is what I would do if I was booking The Miz, and pushing him to the moon, if you will. This is what I would do. I would allow Miz to wait. I would allow him to wait to possibly say next year. I know that's a long time, but this is the way I look at it. They want to push Miz to the moon. They want to push his ego straight to the stratosphere, right? This is the way I look at it. Miz doesn't cash in till probably Elimination Chamber, right? Does an Edge. Does what Edge did 4 years ago. Doesn't cash into Elimination Chamber. Why? Because if I want to push The Miz to the moon, to the stratospheres, feed the on-screen ego of the character, or of the guy, I allow him to win the Royal Rumble, enter the Royal Rumble, win it, guarantee him a shot at the champion of his choosing, then allow him to cash in after an Elimination Chamber match, WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match against whoever the champion is, win the WWE Championship, and then challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship against the World Champion, and thus have a unification match at WrestleMania. Now I know you're thinking, oh please, they're not going to allow The Miz to do that. Well, you never know, but if I was booking The Miz the way the WWE is, I would do it. I would put The Miz in that situation. I would allow him to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase at Elimination Chamber after he's won the Royal Rumble, thus giving him the opportunity to become a unified champion at WrestleMania. But then again, of course, there's rumors going around that Miz could be the first guy that fails in cashing in. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, WWE's got all the time between now and Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. But then again, you know, that's just my opinion. But yeah, I know Miz. But yeah, again, I believe Miz is going to get a rematch for this title at Hell in a Cell. Now, as far as the unified Divas and women's titles, this is the way I look at it with that. This is the way I look at it. Melina is going to point out the fact that Layla is the real champion, that Michelle wasn't really the champion going in to the Night of Champions. So I believe she's going to turn the tables on Lay Cool, and like Lay Cool was able to choose who faces Melina, she's going to choose to face whoever she wants at Hell in a Cell, possibly for the unified title, and she's going to choose Layla. And as far as the tag team titles go, I think we're going to get a little thing there with the Hart Dynasty and McIntyre and Rhodes, and we'll just have to see how the rest plays out. But that's my review of Night of Champions in 2 parts. Hope you enjoyed it. You got any comments, let me know down at the comment box. And if you want to subscribe, subscribe up there. Take care. Peace.